are. So good to
Hello.
see you.
Yeah.
Here we are. So we have our interview for Seven Sisters, and my name is Keegan Mills, and I'm here to interview Sandrine. She's going to share a little bit about herself today. I'm going to ask her some questions. But first, maybe if you just want to say hello and give her a little intro, and then we'll dive into the questions. How does that sound?
Yes, that sounds very good. My name is Sandrine Picard. I'm a French woman based in the south of France, next to Avignon. And I'm very excited to join this Seven Sisters project. I'm a little bit anxious because, as I was sharing with you, Keegan, this is the first time I'm in front of a video. I'm rather kind of behind the scene person, so it's a new experience for me. But yeah, ready for it.
Okay. Well, I'm ready. I'm ready to connect to. I'm excited to do this with you and to hear a little more about who you are and for us to share this project that we're doing together.
Yeah.
So let's start with the first question. So can you share your journey and what inspired you to be a healer?
Well, I guess I've always been interested in getting better, in getting more peaceful, it's a life journey, but it really started back in 2017 when I was made redundant from finance. I was made redundant actually end of 2016. And so I was in the corporate world all my life. And then when I was made redundant, I really decided to sit down and decide, uh, and felt who I was before, because I felt that previously, my first job was really more like I wanted to please family, friends. I never really listened to myself. And when I was made redundant, I really felt it's time now to sit down and listen to who you are and what you want from life and what you want to give as well. And it was in 2015 as well. My body was actually telling me that I wasn't on the right path. I couldn't even walk in the end. My back was so hurting that I couldn't walk. And basically, healing came after I attended a personal development seminar in the south of France called Be the Change That You Want to See in the World. And following this, and even in the seminar itself, it came as an evidence. I've always visited energy healers, being from Brittany, which is the Celtic part of France, where there's a lot of Druidism. And yes, I've always been in contact with energy healers as a child, as a teen, as a young adult.
Wow, that sounds like such an amazing journey. I can just see how, this experience of being in corporate and then shifting to like these opportunities that shared some things that you got to uncover.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was, and then obviously, but when I actually connected to energy healings, I experienced so many synchronicities, really telling me I was on the right path. Like everything came to me as magic, basically. The right training, the right people, it was like magic, basically. So it was a really easy shift to do for me.
Wow.
Reconnecting to my truth, to what I really wanted to do, actually.
Yeah, amazing. So what are the different healing modalities or techniques that you practice, that you got introduced to, that you practice, and how do they work?
So basically, I mainly use magnetism, so energy. So I heal with my hands, obviously with my heart. So I use my hands to help people get better, whether they have a physical issue, emotional issue, energy, the energy field is actually huge. What it covers is really huge. So, and then I use EFT. It's an English word. It's emotional freedom technique. It's an American method, I think, originally. And it's a method that relieves people from strong, crippling, recurring emotions that are actually handicapping them,
Mm.
such as fear, what else? Anger, sadness, those emotions that are coming and going, but and you don't know how to handle with them because they're so strong, right? And basically, to do so, we use what we call the tapping, and we tap on acupuncture points of the human body to release the energy that is actually stuck in the body.
Wow. It sounds really
And
powerful.
and using words as well. So I use kind of a hypnosis sentences that are helping the client to actually release the emotions
Yeah.
that are very difficult for him or her to handle with.
Mm. Yeah, I'm curious. Can you describe, now that you shared a little bit about the healing modalities, can you describe a particular memorable or profound healing experience you've had with a client using any of these modalities?
Yes. Well, it was when was that? Yesterday. I had a client, but in her 50s. And she came to see me a few weeks ago because she lost her father back in 2020, and she couldn't go over it. Okay. So each time she spoke about him, she thought about him, she was crying all the time. So there was something wrong that she couldn't manage to go over, even though two children, age 20. And we did one session. It wasn't even EFT. It was magnetism. And when I saw her yesterday for the second session, she was just all smiles, basically.
Wow.
One session was enough. I was actually pretty sure I would have to use EFT to relieve her, but this energy healing session was enough. She was all smile, and she could basically talk about her father without crying, without so
Oh,
much emotions.
wow. Wow, that's really profound.
Hmm.
So even to see her shift, from
Yeah.
how much sadness she was in to you saw it in her face and how light she was.
And yeah, exactly. Another example I could give you is a guy. It was a couple of years ago now. He came to see me because it's like he was dissociated, He was there, but he wasn't there. He didn't understand why. He had a baby son, but even playing with his son wasn't enjoyable. He didn't enjoy life anymore. It was like it wasn't there, and he didn't know how to handle it. Of course, it was painful for him. I remember seeing him once. Again, we did magnetism. So he came to see me second time, and it didn't help. It didn't help. So it was feeling the same. And then I did the second session, and it wasn't even. He sat down after the session, and that was it. Within seconds, he said, "That's it. I am back."
Wow.
Um, so those were pretty good and obviously impressive session.
Wow. Yeah. So it sounds like, sometimes it takes sometimes more than one session to
Yes,
see some
exactly.
improvement or to see how some of the modalities are working.
Yeah,
And
yeah. We don't know in advance actually. I would say it's between 1 and 3 to 4 sessions. Like I had someone as well who was suffering from depression.
Mhm.
Um, and it took about 5 sessions, but yeah, generally speaking, it's 2, 3 sessions.
Are there other specific tools or rituals that you incorporate in your healing
Um,
session?
I use well, the equivalent of EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. So that's another tool I'm using to reprogram people actually experience traumatic situations such as rape, etc., violence, death. So that's another tool I use, and I've also been trained on Ericksonian hypnosis, but I'm not using that tool very much. But this is something I can use too. As far as using rituals, basically I use, it's more like the preparation, like I will protect myself and protect the client using a protective shell, psychic shell. I use also powder santo or sage to clean the place before and after. And I connect, obviously I ground myself. It's very important. Also, I connect to my higher self and the source. But, I only connect to things that I'm sure about. Very important for me. Okay. I know some people use external energies that I don't know. For me, I prefer to connect to, what I feel is part of me or I'm part of.
That's amazing. What I'm hearing is you're really intentional about working with your clients and working with the healing energies and healing modalities, like really thoughtful and conscious and conscientious about the modalities you use and also the preparation that you take to hold space for someone else, to guide them in their own healing.
Yes,
Remarkable.
exactly. And it's really guiding them in their own healing. I am very much aware I don't heal people. It's all about self-healing. And all I do is obviously I accompany, guide them, teach them tools, use tools myself, but it's all about self-healing. Yes, of course.
That's amazing. Can you explain the concept of holistic healing and its significance in your practice?
Yes, I believe that we can't separate the body, the mind, the soul, the spirit, whatever you want to call it. It's all interconnected, and therefore all aspects should be taken into account. To me, our soul is delivering messages to us via our bodies. So a pain or a disease is always a message. It's not something that is meant to punish us, but just a message that needs to be heard, that needs to be brought to light so that we can start healing. This is the first step of our healing process. So yeah, this is what I would say holistic healing is for me.
And what advice do you have for individuals seeking a genuine healer or a healing experience?
I would say there are several pieces of advice I could give. One is obviously the word of mouth, which is something we've all used, I guess. And another one is, so, if friends of you have seen a practitioner, they've had great results, great feedback, I would say go for it. Another one is, well, Google, internet, but Google business. So if, someone has a lot of good reviews, 5 stars, comments, feedbacks, I would say this is a good sign. But I would say most importantly, it's definitely go on the website as well and see if it resonates. If you've heard many positive things about someone, but you don't feel the person, it doesn't resonate, then don't go for it. You really should be listening to your intuition as well, and to your body language. If you feel it's right, go for it. If you feel it doesn't, it's not because someone has been able to help someone that it will work for you. So you have to feel inside if that's right for you, aligned for you.
Yeah, that alignment. I love that. And I think it's so important because there's so many options out there. And I think it really is about our unique connection with each person who's offering healing experience. And I love
Yeah.
that you invite people to really check in with themselves about what works
Yeah.
for them.
Yes, exactly. Because what works for me might not work for you, you know, and it's fine. It just, that's the way it is. And so be connected to what you feel would work for you. Some people, they need to work through their body, you know. So for some people, it has to go through their body. So they have to find a technique that would suit them.
Yeah.
Because importantly is that you shouldn't be blocking the healing process. So if you strongly disbelieve in a method, then I would say don't.
It's a really great point. Yeah.
Yeah, don't go for it, because you might just be blocking the process. So
Yeah, it's like I'm also thinking, and sometimes we force ourselves to do things, or we feel like we need to, oh, this person's very popular, so or
yeah,
gotten a lot of reviews, and that's great, but maybe it's just not in alignment with your own space. And really what I'm hearing also is like where that person's energy is, and
yes,
there's certain energy that attracts each other, and being in tune with that, like being aware of that,
yeah,
it doesn't block the process.
exactly. And it's like, you know, sometimes you meet people, they are great human beings, but it just there's no connection.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. You have to accept it, you know.
Yeah, that's great advice. I love hearing all that advice. You
Mhm.
shared a little bit about some of the ways that you, like the rituals that you have for yourself with as you prepare for a session. How do you maintain your own well-being and energy while helping others heal?
Well, I do take care of myself and my body, of course. So, in all ways, like I pay attention to what I read, to what I eat. So I eat organic food, for example. I do breathing exercises. I go swimming 2, 3 times a week. I do walk as well in the nature as much as I can, as
Mm.
often as I can. I try to meditate and do yoga, because sometimes it's not like the easiest for me, but you know, I try. I know they do good. So yeah, I guess that's about it.
Yeah, I love that you shared that, the try, because we're
Yeah,
all
just
we're all in this, you're a normal human being who may not get to all of the well-being that you intend to. And the try
exactly. They're
is
trying, yeah, because we only have 24 hours a day, and sometimes, you know, I know for me swimming is great because it it does me so much good, and so you know, I will give the preference to swimming than to yoga, but you know, we all different,
yeah. Oh,
but I love yoga. You know, I've been to ashrams as well in India.
yeah.
I do yoga.
You're inspiring me with some of your well-being. So I'm taking some tips, mental notes about some things I can do too. So thank you for sharing that. What ethical considerations are essential when working as a healer?
Um, I would say never project your own beliefs on the client, you know. Um, you shouldn't want to, you shouldn't want for the other, okay? And that's difficult as well. Don't force, don't push on things. Be aware that, again, you do not heal the other, but it's self-healing, even if you are key to the healing process, of course, because the energy goes through me, for example, or the techniques I use are very personal because I use them in a certain manner that resonates with me. So each person is different and use different. The same technique will be different, of course, used differently according to the healer or the therapist. So, and then what else? Always empower the client as well. I always try to empower the client. So I always give tips and tricks so that they can go back home and do certain things by themselves as well. That will get them, that will allow them to be more peaceful and more alive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear a lot of that you set your ego aside, that, you know, this, like, as you mentioned before around that you don't see, you see you're holding the container for the healing, and
Yeah.
really empowering your clients. Like, that's an ethical consideration for you of, and how you, it sounds like you even adapt to your different clients and share all of these modalities, but in a specific way for each client.
Yes. Yes, I think it's key because in society or in general, right? I'm based in France. I don't know so much about in the US, but I think people tend to rely so much on the other. And, you know, I don't want people to actually believe that they can't, first, that they can't heal themselves, and then that they become dependent on you, right? For me, it's very important that they don't get scared when we stop the therapy, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Some people, I can see some people are, I'm scared that, you know, maybe if we stop, I will. No, no, no. You have everything inside you, so don't be scared, you know. Be relaxed. It'll be okay. You did it was self-healing anyway. Your body knows how to do it.
Yeah. Wow.
Hmm.
And how do cultural and spiritual beliefs influence your this healing approach that you have? Do you?
Well, I am actually a spiritual seeker, right? So I keep away from religious beliefs because even though I had a religious education, I'm not into religion. I am into spirituality. So even in with the words I use, I tend to use, for example, the source or our higher self, the universe, the divine. But you know, um, any representation that you can consider whether you are religious or not. Okay, so it's that's the way I do it. Yes.
And then how do you work with clients who might have different spiritual or cultural beliefs? How do you adapt?
Well, I don't touch, you know, using my hands. So uh, I never had any issues. I had Muslim Christians in my practice that I'm aware of. It never really occurred that there was something
Mhm.
that would go against their beliefs or their religion. So if they just don't come to see me, I guess.
Mhm. Yeah, it seems, I hear you're very open, and because you have this base in spirituality, that it allows you to be open to others and to be in these healing modalities.
Yeah. Well, I consider myself as a citizen of the world, you know, so I've traveled around the world, and yes, for me,
That's
it's key to be open. Yes.
that's amazing. Well, that relates to this project of 7 sisters around the world. How do you envision this project, 7 sisters?
Good question. So to me, it's really it's a sisterhood project based on principles such as helping and supporting each other, with trust, without competition, and without fear as well, with an open heart, showing, you know, our vulnerability, authenticity. So it's a great project, and also the idea behind is to build a community of, for me, of truth seekers, light lovers, spiritual people. people on their way. Yes, and around the world, of course. So I'll do videos in English, of course, because it's an international community, but also I'll do some in French.
It's amazing. I love that you're a part of this project. What is your intention behind joining this group?
I guess it's, yeah, building a worldwide community of women, because I think change will come through women, but of course of men as well, because we won't go very far without men. They have to be part of this, the evolution of consciousness on this planet, and to help this community, of course, because that's the point, is help people. It's help this community by giving them tips and tricks that I have experienced myself, and that have worked for me to get more confidence, to be more in peace and in love with myself, and more, to give them more joy or self-love, and it's a common growth project, because I am very humble. I am on my way. I haven't reached it yet, right? We are all on our way, I guess. So it's common growth as well, for sure.
I feel like that really speaks to what you shared in terms of the sisterhood of no competition, and being in it together, and
Yes,
with each other and supporting each other on that growth. So I love that intention.
yes, me too. And I think you're great at it. Thank you for the way you interviewed me. It's really exactly the spirit you're showing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else that you would like to share that maybe we didn't get to, or that you feel is on your heart right now?
Mm, well, I'm very happy to join this project, especially because when Maida asked me, told me about this project, I was really surprised, because I tell you when we had our first call that I used to live in Seven Sisters when I was living in London.
That's right.
So it was like, oh, funny. And then of course the Pleiades, I love those stars, blue, shining blue stars. And I feel really related to the stars. So
Wow.
I'm very,
It's like a full circle moment for you. It's amazing. Well, thank you so much for
thank you to you.
sharing everything that you shared. I'm excited for what you're going to share on this platform of Seven Sisters, and how we'll support each other, but also all of the women and men around the world to raise the consciousness. So I'm really excited for people to hear this interview and hear what you have to say.
Yes, me too. And it's going to be a lot of I think joy and yes, self growth, but also common growth, and a lot going on, I'm sure. And bear with us. It's going to be exciting.
It is going to be exciting. So people will have to tune in to check out what Sandrine has to share.
Exactly. In English and then in French as well.
Amazing. Okay.